helps at least a little bit.
And
Jeremy.
more rain on the way, Jeremy, too, so that will help.
Yeah, for now, we don't have a lot of the heavy rain that we saw earlier this evening and during the late afternoon, so that's some good news. No flash flooding going on right now, but we do still have some of that rain on the radar. And most of it is Bexar County south and east, where at least the heaviest of it. But as we head through the overnight, a lot of that will also be fading away. Take a look at the radar, you'll see what I'm talking about. And there it is right there. Lots of rain on the radar. And we're talking about the rain is really dwindling away quite a bit over the last several hours. Not seeing anything like we saw earlier this evening. So that's definitely some good news. But we could take a little bit less of it to get rid of the flood threat that we're seeing right now. Flood watch is in effect. We'll get to that in just a little bit. First, the current temperatures, 65 right now, both at the San Antonio Airport and Stinson Airport. And we had gustier wind earlier. Right now, it's out of the east, not in the 20s like we saw during the 6 o'clock newscast. It's down to 10 miles an hour. Dew points up there at 63 degrees, so pretty close to the air temperature. That's why the humidity's up there at 93%. We're seeing a lot of 60s out there. Earlier this evening, Junction was the warm spot in the 80s. Usually it's the other way around with our southern counties, but with all the rain there, temperatures kept down. 61 Bernie, 66 in Junction, Del Rio at 69, 65 Gonzales, and 66 in Seguin. Flood watch in effect for all these counties shaded in green. That's south of Bexar County and southeast of Bexar County. That's until Friday morning. Widespread areas of 2 to 4 inches expected from San Antonio southward. In the flood watch area, isolated 6 to 8 inches not out of the question through Friday. We had a lot of yellow earlier this evening. That's now, for the most part, gone away, at least the widespread yellow. That's the moderate showers. Now we're seeing the green, that's light to moderate rain. We're seeing that in and around the Kyle area, parts of Bexar County, northern Bexar County, seeing some of the light to moderate showers all the way towards the eastern hill country. Kerrville, Bandera, seeing that. Further down to the south, that's where we have the heavier rainfall, seeing it around Tilden, back westward near Cotulla, also eastward near Beeville. These areas down to the south and east, that's where we're forecasting the most amount of rainfall over the next several days. That's why the flooding outlook is moderate in our southern counties. San Antonio down close to those southern counties, slight risk for flooding. Less of a chance heading further to the north near the hill country. Severe weather also possible tomorrow. You see a slight risk in our southern counties. The main threats, large hail and damaging winds. Marginal risk for the rest of the area. But I'm thinking the heavy rain threat is going to be much more of a concern than the severe weather threat. Here's the futurecast starting you out just after midnight tonight. The heaviest of the rain, San Antonio south and eastward. I'm thinking a little further south of San Antonio than that. This model being quite bullish with the rainfall, but it heads out as we head through the overnight. Here we are tomorrow morning at drive time. You'll see south and east near the coastal plain some rain. Everyone else, for most of our area, just some isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. I'm thinking that'll hold off until the afternoon. Here we are at 5 o'clock. This model was showing quite a bit more rainfall a few hours ago. If this verifies, not nearly as much, and that's some good news, but we could use just some moderate rain because we are still in the middle of that very, very bad drought. And then as we head to Friday morning, the last batch of rain moving through, temperatures starting out in the 60s. They won't get out of the 60s tomorrow, staying in the 60s Friday morning. By the afternoon, the sun starts to come out as the last bit of rainfall gets out of the picture. And then we'll see nice highs back into the 70s and then the 80s this weekend, along with dry weather. And here is the how much rainfall forecast. This model now showing still could see as much as 2 to 4 inches south of Bexar County. Not as much to the north, though, and that's the trend over the past several hours. So we'll have to see if the rain totals actually do go down. Tonight, 63 the overnight low, evening thunderstorms. Tomorrow, 69, so a much cooler day. And the 14-day forecast showing that weather impact alert days tomorrow and Friday, we dry out for the weekend, and the rest of the forecast mostly dry with highs in the 80s.